don't know who needs to hear this, but just because you buy all the planner things does not mean you're actually going to use them. So if you're tired of your paper planner just collecting dust on the shelf, I want you to tune into this episode to learn how to go from wishing for your dreams to habitually and strategically using your planner to create your dream life. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Tiffany Shelton Mariol. I'm a neuropsychologist, published author, and founder of Mod Ambition. I post every week about how to plan, manifest, and enjoy your dream life. So make sure you subscribe to the channel or the podcast so you don't miss out on any of my episodes. And by the end of this episode, you're going to know easy ways to make planning a habit so you can create space and time in your life for what matters most to you. I've used these tips to make planning a habit, and I know firsthand how impactful consistently using your planner can be. I can't wait for you to experience the same thing when you form the habit of actually using your planner. But wait, quickly, before we jump in, if you want to take a deep dive into my exact formula for manifestation and intentional planning that goes a bit further than what I'm going to share in this video today, I want you to be sure to check out my live free mini course called Ambitious Manifester. It will include 3 live masterclasses, opportunities to ask me questions directly, and a free workbook to help you apply everything that you learned in the mini course. So be sure to sign up at tiffanyshelton.com/mini course. Okay, back to this episode. This episode is infused with the philosophy of Atomic Habits by James Clear, which SamuelThomasDavis.com summarized very nicely into 3 sentences that I want to share with you. Number 1, an atomic habit is a regular practice or routine that's not only small and easy to do, but it's also the source of incredible power, a component of a system of compound growth. Number 2, bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. And number 3, changes that seem small and unimportant at first will compound into remarkable results if you're willing to stick with them for years. And that's what I've really seen with making a habit out of intentional planning. So I share this with you because consistently using your planner is a powerful habit. It's going to be the foundation really for intentionally creating the life of your dreams. So before we jump into the more practical tips, the first thing I want you to align with when you're trying to make planning a habit is the powerful why behind planning in the first place. It helps us create space for what we want in life. Planning helps set the stage for the actions required to manifest our goals. And maybe most importantly, habitually planning allows you to regularly take stock of your life, to be flexible, and to design a life of freedom. And now let's move on to my practical strategies, which I infuse with the Mod Ambition pillars to help you finally make planning a habit. So if you want to make using your paper planner a habit, the first thing I want you to do, and it may sound funny, is to actually plan for this habit. And I'm going to tell you what that consists of. The first thing it consists of is really defining your intention and your values when it comes to using a paper planner. What is your intention for using your planner, and what values in your life does it support? Understanding this and having your why behind it for your personal reason is going to help the habit actually stick. The next thing when it comes to planning for this habit of using your planner is to prioritize and organize how and when you will plan. I want you to think of what are your main priorities when it comes to planning. Is it just to make sure that you can kill that never-ending to-do list and stop feeling overwhelmed? Is it a creative outlet? Prioritize what's most important to you and organize those priorities in a way that you'll know when you sit down to plan what is the mission that you're going for. And the third part of planning for this habit is actually having boundaries around your planning time and flexibility. So boundaries, carving out a special time in your week or a special time in your day that you will dedicate to planning. This is going to contain your planning habit. It's going to create a space around it so that you know this is your time for this planning habit, and you have it carved out in a way that you have healthy boundaries around it, that you don't let anything come in between it, like overloading work stuff or, other things that might get in the way. And then you also want to have flexibility, like your kids may get sick, you may get sick. But what you want to do when it comes to flexibility to make sure this stays a habit is there may be a week that you can't plan at that time that you want to, but use the never twice rule, meaning if I skip this week, I'm going to make sure that I get back on it next week. If I skipped planning today, I'm going to make sure that I get back on it tomorrow. So never twice. So that's my first tip when it comes to using your paper planner a habit, is to actually plan for the habit. Number 2, so when you are thinking about making planning a habit, I want you to also prepare for this habit. And that consists of emptying, refilling, and refreshing. That is the metaphor that I like to use for preparing anything. If you think about a cup of water, to prepare it, you want to empty whatever is in there. You're going to want to refill it, and then you want to refresh it with maybe like a garnish or something. So that's how you can kind of remember this metaphor. So let's apply it to making planning a habit. How can you prepare for this habit so that it can stick? So let's start with empty. First, you want to declutter old non-useful planners or planning inserts, plans, any supplies that you're no longer using or that just complicate your planning process. You want to declutter all your tools and empty out things so you have space to start fresh with this new habit. After you empty or declutter, however you want to think about it, then you're going to refill. And this is going to help you prepare for planning and for making planning a habit, because you're going to focus on one planner and a planning style that will get you towards those intentions that we talked about in the first tip. So how can you, now that you've cleared out space, what do you really, really want to keep, and how can you prepare for this habit? Pick a planner that suits you and your lifestyle right now. Pick tools that are comfortable and make you happy to plan. Get ready for whatever time that you have carved out to plan, and prepare for that time by having everything there and ready to go. And this includes preparing your workspace and your planning supplies, like I said, in a designated space before you start planning. And then the third part of preparing to plan is it's going to help you make it a habit if it's a pleasurable experience, if you feel every time you walk away from it, you feel good. And one way to make sure that happens in your preparation stage is make sure you're in a clear-headed space before you sit down. Make sure that you're vibrating high in your mindset so that when you do sit down to plan, the things that come out of your intentions come from a good space versus a stressed out space. So that's just another way that I also like to prepare, is before I sit down, either doing some deep breathing, lighting a candle, whatever the case may be, to get you feeling refreshed. Lastly, when it comes to using your planner an actual habit, I want you to be productive when you're actually planning. If it's an effective practice, if it's something that you can get in, get out, and feel good about, you're more likely to keep up with that habit. So some ways that you can be more productive when you're planning is to create routines and systems. So have a planning routine. I plan every Friday afternoon. Have a system for the way that you actually plan, like your color coding, any way that's going to minimize the amount of thinking that you actually have to do when it comes to this habit, making it really easy and really fun. Another thing that's going to help you be productive and keep it a habit is track the planning habit. So have a habit tracker in your planner that's going to help you check off, just write planning as one of those habits that you're trying to develop. And research has shown just tracking habits is a really healthy and effective way of making a habit solidify. You also want to be productive in your planning by making sure you're planning at routine milestones. So that's yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. You may not want to do all 5 of those. I do, because I find it keeps me on track with my goals. But having regular intervals that you check in with your planning as well is going to help you, in addition to those planning, weekly planning routines. You can also set reminders to help you stay consistent. So you can, at the beginning, put a reminder on your phone to plan, especially for monthly planning, because it doesn't always fall on the same day of the week. But just to remind you before the next month is coming out, I like to do a week ahead reminder. And then, like I said, I have that planning routine for my weekly planning as well. Another thing that's going to help you be productive when it comes to planning, and so you can solidify this habit, is considering time optimization and time acceptance. So optimizing your time, minimal planning is what I prefer. I don't get into a lot of the decorating. I use it as a creative outlet, but more so in like the way that I think about what I'm planning. One of the things I really love about the Mod Ambition Planner is it makes habitual planning easy and intuitive with a minimal modern design, and it's infused with habit forming psychology. It is relaunching December 2nd, so if you want to be notified, because there is a limited supply, I will say that up front, you can sign up at the link below. Whether you use the Mod Ambition Planner or not, you really want to get one that helps you feel productive and really meets you where you are. And hopefully, if you get the Mod Ambition Planner, you'll really see how it meets all these needs and helps you make planning a habit. Also, a little bonus, if you're attending my free mini course on December 2nd, which is the launch date of the planner, you will receive a discount for the planner if you're in that live session. So be sure to tune in for I'm doing an ambitious manifestor course. It's totally free. It's to help you move into this next year with a solid plan on manifesting your goals. I'm going to include a discount for attendees, so that's just a little secret. And another thing I do want to mention to you guys about being productive when you're using your planner is to make it pretty and peaceful. Really set up the scene of using your planner, have a peaceful experience, like I said, have fun, and really get into a way of planning that you really enjoy. And that's what I mean by pretty and peaceful. Like, how can you match your aesthetic and the planner that you're using? How could you make the whole experience peaceful and really enjoyable? Okay, I would love to end this episode by offering an intention for you this week. May you lean into habits that support your dream life. Cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. If you like this episode, please follow the podcast or subscribe to my channel. And until next time, namaste.